Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Richard Gray, the creator of the Automatic Wealth System by Logical Flow. Today is Lesson 10, the Dream Fund. In our previous lessons, we built two important foundations. First, we created the Safety Fund, designed to protect us from life's unexpected surprises. Then we built the Freedom Fund, where we learn how time, patience, diversification, and accepting volatility can help us build long term wealth. But today we are going to talk about something that's just important: living. Because what's the point of building wealth if we never allow ourselves to enjoy the journey? The Dream Fund exists because of this. Life isn't only about preparing for emergencies or retirement. It's about intentionally creating experiences that make life meaningful. Whether that's a family vacation, a new gaming system, a once in a lifetime trip, or something you've always dreamed about owning. The Dream Fund helps you enjoy those things without stealing from your future. In today's lesson, we're going to cover Topic 1, why the Dream Fund exists. Topic 2, needs versus wants. Topic 3, turning dreams into a plan. Topic 4, matching the right tool to the right time frame. And lastly, topic 5, how the Dream Fund protects your Freedom Fund. So let's get started. Topic 1, why the Dream Fund exists. So, money has more than one purpose. Some money protects us, some money builds our future, some money helps us enjoy life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they have to choose between living for today and living for tomorrow, where the truth is we need both and we can do both. Instead of thinking about money as one giant pile, think about it as having three different jobs. So there's the purpose of it for today, the safety fund, the tomorrow or near term, the dream fund, the later, the freedom fund. Each basket has a different purpose. The safety fund protects you when life doesn't go according to plan. The dream fund gives you something exciting to look forward to. And the freedom fund helps build long term financial independence. When each dollar has a job, your financial decisions become much easier. Key point to remember: every dollar should have a purpose, and every purpose deserves its own basket. Topic 2, we're going to take a look at needs versus wants. So let's be clear about something. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting nice things. The problem isn't buying something nice. The problem is sacrificing your long term goals for short term gratification. And here's what I mean: say you need shoes. You could get a perfectly good pair of shoes at Winners for around 60 bucks. Maybe you've always wanted a pair of Jordans that are around $350. So that right there, that's not a need. The Jordans, that's a dream. It's something that you want. Say you need a phone, a basic smartphone will do everything you need. Motorola's you can pick up for like 350 bucks, brand new. But people want the latest, the greatest. They want the iPhones, they want the newest Androids. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. The difference is, instead of buying impulsively, you should intentionally save up for it and not be stuck in a month by month payment plan for things like the phones. So the Dream Fund isn't about saying no, it's saying not yet. Wait until it's something you can actually afford. Because when it's planned for it, you can enjoy it guilt free. So, the key point to remember: there's nothing wrong with wants. We should just save for them intentionally. Topic 3, turning dreams into a plan. Dreams become much more achievable when we stop thinking about them emotionally and start thinking about them practically. Ask yourself three simple questions. What do I want? How much will it cost? When do I realistically want it? Or better yet, it should more be, when can I realistically get it? So we'll take a look at a few examples. Maybe you want those pair of Jordans that are around 350 bucks. You'd like them in 3 months. Now you know approximately how much you'll need to save each week. Maybe you'd like a PlayStation and perhaps you want it in a year. Again, now you know your savings target. Maybe you've always dreamed about visiting Japan and your goal is about 18 months away. Now you have a realistic time frame to work towards. Notice something important. The dreams are different, but the purposes are the exact same. A dream without a timeline is simply a wish. A dream with a timeline will become a plan that's executed. Key point to remember, a dream with a timeline becomes a plan that's executed. Topic 4, matching the right tool to the right time frame. Now let's connect everything we've learned so far. Remember our Freedom Fund lesson? We learned that volatility isn't necessarily bad. Over long periods of time, accepting volatility has historically been one of the reasons investors have earned higher returns. But not every goal has the same timeline. Let's compare two different situations. So, option A, your goal is to have Jordans in 3 months, PlayStation in a year, and a trip to Japan in 18 months. So, since all those goals are relatively close, you probably don't want your money fluctuating. Cash style investments may make more sense. These are the ones with low or no volatility. They look like things like cash, PSA, CSAV, and CBIL. So every payday, you're going to put a bit of money in, for an example, C-bill. That's your Japan one. Then also every paycheck, you're going to put some into PSA. That's for your PlayStation. And you're going to put some into CSAV. That's your Jordans. Once every item has its own version or ETF or fund that you put it in, you know, as soon as it reaches that amount, you can withdraw the funds guilt free and get what you want. What you really don't want to do is put it all into just something like C-bill for every single thing, because what you'll find people tend to do is they'll keep adding those little wants that they want, like, oh, Jordans, okay, now I need new earbuds. And as soon as they hit that money, they're going to pull it out. And what you're going to find is that they're never going to save up for that PlayStation, or they're never going to go on their trip. So, like I said, everything is a tool, every basket has a purpose. So, every item on your list should have its own individual ETF. That concludes option A. Let's say for option B, you still want the Jordans, a PlayStation, and the trip to Japan. But now you've decided that Japan is going to be your once in a lifetime trip. So instead of leaving in 18 months, you want to spend way more money to make it a much grander vacation. And now you need 5 years of saving up to do it. So the dream didn't change, only the timeline changed. Because your timeline is now longer, you may decide you're comfortable with accepting a little more volatility for the possibility of greater long term growth. An example could be a balanced ETF such as VBAL or another similar balanced investment. So, this balanced ETF generally experiences less volatility than a 100% stock ETF, like the one we talked about, VFV, while still offering more growth potential than a cash style investment. It can still go down in value, but historically its ups and downs have tended to be less dramatic than an all equity portfolio, meaning all stocks. We're going to explore balanced ETFs and similar investment options in future videos. But for today, I want to keep things simple. I simply want you to remember this: choose your first goal, then choose your timeline second. Not what you want, but what you're able to do. And then choose the investment that matches the timeline with your ability to accept risk. For that Japan one, 5 years, maybe they want volatility, so it could happen sooner, but you also have to realize the risk could be that it could happen later. Is that a gamble you're willing to take? If it's not, you're going to sit in the other investments, which are the more cash based. The key point to remember: the timeline determines the tool, not the dream. Topic 5: the dream fund protects your freedom fund. So, this may be the most important lesson in this. Imagine your trip to Japan is fully funded inside your dream fund. When it's time to book your flights, you don't have to sell your freedom fund investments. If the stock market happens to be down that month, it doesn't matter. Your retirement continues growing. Your long term investments stay invested. Your dream fund paid for the experience. That's exactly what it's designed to do. The dream fund allows you to enjoy life without interrupting your long term wealth building. Instead of your different financial goals competing against each other, they begin working together in the system. Key point to remember: the dream fund lets you enjoy without sacrificing your future. So, one reflection question I want to leave you with: if someone handed you $10,000 today and they said, spend it on whatever you want, guilt free, what would you spend it on? The first couple things that come to mind are probably the things that you want to include on your dream list. The lesson summary: today we learned that money has different jobs. Your dream fund gives you something meaningful to look forward to. There's nothing wrong with wants when you save for them intentionally. Every dream should have a realistic timeline. Your timeline helps you determine which type of investment may be appropriate for your fund. The dream fund protects your freedom fund by keeping long term investments invested. Remember, the goal isn't just to build wealth someday, it's to build a life that's worth living along the way. Because in life, we need to have fun now and we need to make sure we're protected in the future. And life happens. That's why these three baskets work beautifully well together. In closing, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone you care about. Personal finance isn't something most of us were formally taught. By sharing these lessons, we're helping more Canadians build confidence with money and creating a better future for themselves and their families. As always, remember that this course is about progress and it's not about perfection. Every dollar has a job, every basket has a purpose. Every small decision is another vote for you building the future worth living. Be the turtle. In our next lesson, we're going to continue building the automatic wealth system together. In a summary, we're going to bring everything together. And then after that, I will be doing a video with screenshot footage on how to set up automatic buys, how to actually set up these purchases. I'll show you the logistics of how everything's put together. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next lesson.